Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. My name is Joe and I'm with Todd at Todd's Outside again. And we just got done splitting a bunch of wood into his dump trailer using his awesome Wolf Ridge equipment. Now, another thing that he has that I don't have a lot of experience on is this STIHL MS400C and the 261. Just a couple days ago, I got an opportunity to run a muffler modded version of each of these, but I just want to give it a shot again because they had different modifications and they had full wrap handles. So I want to get a good idea of what they feel like closer to stock and also in hardwood. That last video I shot at Aaron Lynch's place, that was in pine. And so Todd uses this 400C for everything, and he uses the 261 quite a bit. Would you say you use the 261 more or less?
Definitely I use the 261 more. I
Okay.
mean, I'm pushing 50 years old here, and after a day of physical work at my everyday job, even though the 400's not that heavy, if I don't need a 25-inch bar and the extra weight, that's why they make different size saws. So probably 70% of the time, the 261's in my hands.
And he runs a firewood business, and the largest saw he does have is this 400C, and they're just under 70 cc, and is 24 inches or 25 inches the largest bar you have?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the largest bar. It came with a 20-inch, and I bought a 25 right away because I'm able to run the 20 on the 261.
And I can tell you from watching his videos that 400C runs very, very well. And so that's part of, when we were talking on the phone, it's like, okay, I need to run this saw because, I have some larger saws, I have ported saws, and his just look fantastic. So let's get started. I'm really curious to see how these saws run, and I can tell you this, from running them at Aaron Lynch's, I was very impressed with them. And so after this session of cutting, I want to address and talk about some of the things I had concerns with or some of my presuppositions, and I'm excited to get into this big piece of red oak. Make sure you check out Todd's channel. Now, do you like this up here more or back here more?
I leave it.
Is that kind of like what you do?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I just touch it with the tip.
And you just go down.
Yeah, just touch it. Husky guy.
Yeah. All right, first impressions. This saw has quite a bit of power, and I think that no wonder Todd is satisfied just running this saw with a 24-inch bar. There's no reason to have anything bigger in like this wood here. If you were just cutting a lot of it, like constantly getting told like trailer load after trailer load constantly, I could see maybe 1 to 90 cc saw, but that saw runs fantastic. And it feels good too.
Yeah, I don't need anything else but that. If I start getting bigger wood here, and I need a huge saw, then the wood's too big for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to save what's left of my body, and to me, that saw, it surprised me.
Yeah.
For a 67cc saw,
It feels
was very
good.
surprising.
And so that's a brand new STIHL RS.
Brand new out of the box. I've used it once or twice on some of the other oak right here.
It feels very hungry to me. Just like on my STIHL 500i, that 32-inch bar, like I think that it felt very hungry. I don't know where they set the rakers on those, but it just feels pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
So, but it's cutting great. This is, was this tree alive? I mean, it's green, right?
It was green. It was
Okay.
a green tree alive.
Not dead.
Yeah, it was leaning. It kind of uprooted off of a creek bank. So
Okay.
that's why tree service brought it to me.
It's absolutely beautiful wood. And if any of you are wondering why this isn't going to the sawmill, let me show you that right there. There's metal in it, and so it gets relegated to firewood. I want to cut again. That's awesome. It feels
You
good.
can cut the whole dang log. I don't care.
Yeah, it feels good.
Hey, you know what? The more you cut, the less I...
I'm excited to run this. We're going to cut some more, and we're also going to cut with the 261 to get an idea about how that feels too. Just having a little bit of fun, everyone. That saw feels fantastic. Wow.
It's not bad, Chip, but that would be bigger if you were in if I would take those breakers down.
Yeah.
Dude, you're going to get...
Yeah. I cannot wait to talk about this saw here in a moment. Let's just say this, I'm very positive about how this saw runs. If STIHL has that, they have that new 400.1 coming out, that's a tall order to try to beat this. This is quite a bit of wood going across this crotch here. Let's see here. Yeah, we're probably close to 30 inches across that way. I didn't think he was going to get it. Well, gosh dang, Todd. It's nice. I plan on getting the 261 into a little bit of wood. Let me take this out so I'm not yelling. But I can tell you right now that if you're on the fence about a 562 XP, now I've never, I have run, I've cut some cookies with the 562 at the Bunyan show. I don't have real good experience like that with it. I can tell you that the 400C is worth looking at 100% in terms of how it feels, the power, especially once it's been muffler modded. Todd, do you think that the muffler mod made a difference Like what can you tell? Do you feel like it was meaningful? Do you think it's kind of like, you could take it or leave it?
For the money, I think it's well worth it.
Okay.
I did it initially because this was the first saw to ever have the titanium piston.
Okay.
And I was unsure. I hadn't seen anything about it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it for more than anything because it would let the saw cool down. Like, it gets the heat away so much faster. And it is loud.
Yes.
I get accused of running a stock car or something over here whenever I'm running it. But I think it is worth it. For the money, I think it did wake it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could really tell when it broke in. You could hear the saw a lot better with earmuffs on. And once that saw broke in, you could really hear the RPMs pick up, I believe.
So that's important from a user of the West Coast Saws bark box. A lot of people like them, and there's a lot of tests showing that they seem to make a difference. And because I don't have any experience with it, I just wanted to get his opinion because it's his machine and he has more time on it. But I can tell you that saw, there's no reason, like I said, there's no reason to have anything greater for the wood yard. If you are looking at wood that's as big as what we're doing, and you know, Todd does do some larger wood. There's some ash in here that he's gonna work with. That saw will do it. Yes, it would be nice to have sometimes maybe a longer bar or a few more cc's, but that's just one more saw to maintain. And me being an enthusiast and having a YouTube channel that deals heavily in saws, I have a reason to have a bunch of saws, where Todd is just out here cutting firewood, earning some side money. He sells a lot of it, and that 400C and 261 serve him very well, and I understand 100% why the 400C does so well. This mulberry Todd cut with this saw, and he will process this ash with that saw as well. And I have a tendency to noodle wood when it gets to be too large, because this kind of stuff is just no fun to wrestle onto a splitter. There's no sense in doing it. So like for me, I would just buck that into rounds and then noodle it. That's where I could see maybe potentially a larger saw every so often. I have been driving around here in Illinois, and I have seen some very large wood. So I'm sure he can come across it, but I think he also doesn't exactly want that kind of stuff in his wood yard. I think it's just down in the bottom.
You see the very discolored, just real slightly.
Yeah. I think we got lucky with the metal. We got a lot of discoloration here and very little in here, so I think we were actually able to cut around it. It's feeling pretty good, but I noticed something about his chain. Todd was asking me about a little earlier. It's just your rakers. I've had that happen before. Like if you were to put that on a grinder and make every tooth even and then set the rakers, it would go away. Pretty positive.
Shattering?
Yep. We'll cut that one up now. It just needs like an inch off of it. Oh, it needs a little bit more than that. I keep trying to go backwards with that switch. So that STIHL 261 felt really good. I think I can tell a difference between the saw when it's muffler modded like it was at Aaron Lynch's house. But as in terms of how smooth the saw is, like the anti-vibe and everything, it feels really good. I would put it very, very close to like a 550 or any good 5 Series Husky, and those are just incredibly smooth. And so that's saying a lot because those Huskies are known to be smooth, and if you're a STIHL fan and if that's the dealership you have nearby or whatever, if that's just the affinity that you have towards saws, that 261 definitely doesn't feel like the old classic STIHL saws, and neither does the 400C. My 500i is smooth, and there was a little bit of chatter on that, but that was just due to the chain. These chains were both slightly used. There might have been a little bit of bruising, a little bit of raker discrepancies between the teeth, but that's just something that happens when you're using your saws for making money, making firewood, and so forth. Again, that saw felt really good. And I really appreciate Todd at Todd's Outside Again for inviting me over to be able to come over and work with him. If you haven't checked out the video we did earlier, where we split up a whole bunch of wood using his Wolf Ridge equipment that he has on loan from Widman Cycles in St. Louis. And by the way, any of that Wolf Ridge equipment that is seen in these videos or in his videos is generally available for sale through Widman's. So keep that in mind. Again, make sure you check out Todd's channel. Thank you for watching the Okie Woodsman channel, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.